So let's talk about the eventful first couple of hours in Newcastle. I'm keeping my voice down slightly because I don't know how solid these walls are. Anyway, so Newcastle was only the second stop on the train from York. We stopped at Darlington and then we went through Durham, but we didn't stop there, and then we stopped at Newcastle and I got off. No problem at all. The worst problem was finding my seat. I was E71 and I got on at E1 and 71 was the last seat, so I should really have got on the carriage after and walked back. But anyway, the good news was that there was somebody booked to sit next to me between Darlington and Newcastle. And I'm never quite sure when there's somebody next to you, what do? Do you make conversation? Do you pretend that you don't speak English? What do you do? It's got the potential to be somebody amazing, or an old granny or something. You just don't know. So anyway, sorry, I just heard somebody walk past the room. Anyway, yes, got off at Newcastle, and Newcastle, I was banking on this, and I'm glad. Some stations in England are small, and some stations are so big they almost have a sort of shopping plaza with them. Now Leeds does, but York doesn't. I was counting on Newcastle having one because I wanted to have something to eat for tea. They had Burger King, so that was fantastic. And then I thought, well, I'm going to have to get to my hotel. It was about 7:30, maybe coming up to 8, I don't know, something like that. And I wasn't quite sure where my hotel was. I had a feeling it was a little bit outside of the centre, so I did what any normal person would do, and I got a taxi, and the taxis put the Bradfordian taxis to shame. They really do. The Bradfordian taxis, which sort of go around Bradford, they are very stereotypical. They are an absolute nightmare. I mean, they speed. They stop for nothing. The foot goes down, and it's like being in a roller coaster. This one was weird. I mean, there was all sorts of pendants and stuff hanging from the the partition bit in the middle. There was Buddhist pendants. There was Arabic pendants. There was all sorts of little sort of charms clinking around this little taxi. It was like being, in the Middle East or something like that, as we sort of bumped our way along the roads. It's actually about 10 minutes, much further than I thought, outside of the centre. Not quite as bad as the Norwood Hotel was in Birmingham, the boob we made that time, and we discovered that our hotel was over the other side of the universe. And also, unlike the Norwood Hotel, thankfully this one, which is Express Rooms, that's what it's called, is on a very good bus link. The metro only serves the other half of the city, the centre, and then it goes out east to the coast. It doesn't do west of the centre unless you're talking northwest, where you go to the airport it really only does the east side, a bit of the south, and the far northwest. I'm in that little black spot in the middle. So we got here, and I went into reception, and this is where things went horribly wrong. It reminded me a little bit of the time that I went to Liverpool, one of my first expeditions to Liverpool with the Cage Gladiators promotion, where I had mistimed trains or something like that, and I found myself stranded in Liverpool, and I had to get a taxi from Liverpool all the way back to Harrogate. It was a disaster, and I had a bit of a disaster tonight as well, so I went to the desk to check in. Now, the first thing I was thinking of was, why was the express rooms had a sign on the front of their gate saying some sort of nursing home, and I've discovered that what it is this place actually was a nursing home, and it's strange inside. It's very stereotypical of the Victorian style nursing homes. So it's a rabbit warren. It's a rabbit warren on about 3 different levels. It's built to last. It's a real sort of sandstone, sort of stone-like structure. Some amazing ornate sort of Gothic arches in the bits downstairs, which are sort of the open areas, which I presume would have been, you know, the sort of communal areas for the nursing home. And these up here got at least another level above. You know, it's full of twisty little corridors with rooms and shared bathroom, which I knew about. That wasn't the problem. No, the problem was when I went to check in and they said that I had to pay the fee up front. Now, I'd already given my contact details, sorry, my credit card details, and I was under the impression that it was paid for by credit, and thus I could pay it off, you know, next month from my savings account. And they said, no, we don't use the credit card, it's only there to secure the booking. So I said, well, no problem, you know, I shall have to pay from my normal account, and I shall simply move my savings into the normal account to compensate. No problem. Oh no, the cash card, the card machine didn't work. So I said, well, hang on, you know, this is not on. You can't really expect people to walk around with like £73 or whatever on their person. So I said, well, I'm going to have to get money from somewhere. Where's the nearest cash point? And he wasn't very helpful. He basically said, well, you go out onto the road and you walk down and you'll see it on the left. 20 minutes later, 20 minutes I walked down that road towards the city centre. No cash point anywhere, and the estates, there are estates around here which are rough, to put it bluntly. I can now see why Newcastle might have shocked a few of the people who assumed it was going to vote to stay in the Union. They maybe forgot about the not so nice area of Newcastle, which I happen to be staying in here. It is, as I say, the area about 10 minutes by car to the west of centre, north of the river, and probably about, you know, it probably extends from the river up until you get to the airport, which is in the far north, sort of west. That whole area, not a brilliant area, I have to admit. It did not feel particularly safe. You know, anyway, so 20 minutes later, I was still no further to a cash point. Thankfully, there was an Aldi, and I got it into my head that perhaps I could get cash back. The guy there was very helpful, because basically I said, look, how much do you need to spend to get cash back? And he was like, only £1 or whatever, you just need to buy something. So I was then able to get the money that I needed via cashback, add it to the sum that I already had, and then I came back and I paid. You know, I did discover on the way back the good bus links, which are useful. They do run weekends, which is good. This is the places I will only be using to literally to sleep. Breakfast, he was kind enough to tell me, is at 7, between 7 and 9 in the morning. Checkout is up to 10:30, which is good. I do not wish to stay here any longer than I have to. I have to say, the place itself isn't bad. I might have been okay if the card machine had worked, but because it didn't, I discovered that he was incredibly unhelpful, and I have to say that the reviews of this place online were mixed. So mixed that this was not my first choice. My first choice was another one that was a bit closer, but it was south of the river. It was effectively in Gateshead. But you know, that didn't work out eventually. The good thing is that it still hasn't cost an awful lot. This I have managed to get, you know, tickets by train here and back, plus 2 nights in this hotel, and the whole thing has cost less than £100. So that's not too bad, but very put off by what happened this afternoon. Very put off. This place has a lot now to sort of make up for, I guess. Thankfully, here I was able to find a map, at least of the centre. So, and a few leaflets that I've picked up, you know, in the train station and stuff. So now I can make a proper plan as to how I'm going to spend Saturday and Sunday. So there we are, that's my plan. My plan for the rest of the evening is to basically plan out what I'm going to do. Maybe do some administration downstairs in the sort of communal area. And of course do the room review tonight here. And maybe take pictures tomorrow night, because I need something to do tomorrow night, you see, once I get back here, because we're sort of stranded, we're miles from anywhere here. So yes, room review next, I think.